Mike's Daily Podcast.
I think we're at 1795. Hello, I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I'm at the last place on earth, Cafe Anyway, and I'm singing to you from a different spot that I'm usually at, so this microphone might sound a little different. My name is Mike Matthews. Matt, did you enjoy the Super Bowl yesterday? I just listened to this talk show host talk about it, and here's what he did say. He said, I don't like all these people making fun of
Mike's Daily Podcast.
the Super Bowl. It's an American institution. How dare they make fun of it?
Mike's
That's
Daily
un-American.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah!
I just realized I have no way to figure out what the podcast picture is from this situation. I'll have to make something up. I bet I have some good podcast picture somewhere. Yeah, today's show is about wasting time. Some of you might think listening to this podcast is wasting time. I say it's not. I say the Super Bowl is a waste of time, and that we should all be thinking of other things to do other than watching a Super Bowl. For example, maybe watching the Kiddie Bowl. Oh, hey, I have a sound effect for that, but I haven't played it because I'm not in the right thing. Like I said, I'm getting situated. This is a show called Situated. I think that's what we'll call this show. Here we go, let's see. Here we go. One more time, please, for everyone. All right. That may or may not have worked. There may or may have been not have been Cartman talking to you just at that moment. But yes, cats in this world, and I had a cat sound effect. Shoot, where did it go? This is me trying to find my cat sound effect. It got taken out. Someone destroyed my cat sound effect. Well, anyway, it had something to do with a meow. At any rate, maybe the cat... Well, you know what? You've got to, though, find something that you enjoy doing, and maybe watching the Super Bowl is, but I heard it was a low-scoring game. Nobody cared. The commercials were bad. Okay. They were boring. So...
And here's today's podcast picture.
Let's make it a Basil. The other day, we were watching this great sunset, and Basil the Boxer was checking it out. And you can see that picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. I think that's the one we'll go with as we're getting situated today. So, speaking of cats, though, so in San Jose, there are cats that have been, that got their own house. Their owners have decided to buy them, I guess, an apartment. And these cats live in this apartment by themselves. And that's how it works now. People go and buy cats places to live.
Oh my god, no way!
I miss my cat sound effect. I wish I could find it. But I'm still getting situated. That's crazy. I think that's a waste of money. Is that a waste? Should we be wasting things like this? I mean, the cat could just as easily be with you. The cat wants to be with you. That's the whole thing. Why is it... I don't know. And then there is this... let's see, Sears is alive still somehow because people don't mind wasting time in a Sears. I guess for some people, it's sort of a, what do you call it, traditional thing. They feel a connection to their family, to their growing up. Oh, it's Sears, you know. It's another American institution. How dare we put it down? But still, it's... I've always found Sears to be just the most depressing, horrible places. Why waste time in there? And I've never found anything I wanted in one. Have you been pawned? I don't even know what that means. Pound? There's this cybersecurity thing that says, have you been PONED, pound? Huh? Or maybe I wrote this down wrong. But so there's all these cybersecurity services now that will help you track down, see if you have in fact been breached, if your security has been stolen. And it says to you,
"Danger, Will Robinson, danger."
And that is awesome. But still, I'm wondering, a lot of these services, how much they're taking your information and using it for their own means. Be careful of how you waste your time with that kind of stuff. And then finally, as I can't really see very well here in the light of Cafe Anyway today, we've lost a couple light bulbs. Perhaps somebody shot them out. Perhaps this person.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the chef supervisor. Why would I shoot out lights?
I don't know. I thought maybe, got a little angry. Oh, see, someone else shot out a light. Who's that? Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. Floyd did it because he was annoyed.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
I mean, he was offended about a cookie.
They're going to eat cookie.
Okay. I feel that we should go outside of Cafe Anyway, but not quite yet. I think I don't want to leap to leaping out of Cafe Anyway. But we did have Basil the Boxer a little bit earlier, and he is in the podcast picture, which you can see at MikesDailyPodcast.com. He always loves keeping in touch with all of you. MikesDailyPodcast.com, also where you can check out the show, the myriad of places you can find it. I spend most of my time uploading it and doing all that kind of stuff. MikesDailyPodcast.com is where you can find that. And there is also this wonderful thing called the email, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. If following... What? Not... Oh, hi, there's Basil right there, joining us yet again. Exactly. What he said. Oh, yeah, so I think I've mentioned this before. I don't know if... That's right, Basil. Maybe I have. There's this thing on the radio. It's a big business. I help, in fact, a radio station that does broadcast this. It's called Conservative Talk Radio. And it's a whole station based on conservative leanings and philosophies and Republicans. But you don't really hear any liberal talk radio stations. In the Bay Area, we've got a couple kind of close to it, or what they would call progressive talk stations. But we don't really have that here, and I guess you have NPR. Some people call that liberal talk radio. But with the amount of, during the conservative talk radio world, and during the Obama era, as we go outside of Cafe Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere podcast for Valley. Mont, the last place on earth. And it did rain a whole mess last night, and it still is a little bit windy. But yeah, people made fun of Obama.
That's not even funny.
During his presidency, on the conservative side. And nowadays, I guess people on the conservative side say, oh, all media is against Trump. Who says,
I'm really rich.
And who says that
he's a showboat, he's a grandstander.
So, what the hell am I saying? I'm saying that there's this weird... just don't waste your time on certain media. If you don't understand the basis of it, the background of what you're listening to, of what you're being fed, the source. I believe NPR does try to be pretty much on the up and up, pretty balanced. But if you have a conservative talk show host, he is telling you his opinions. He is saying what he thinks. And you may go,
"What are you talking about, fool?"
But then there are the liberal talk show hosts. I guess they're mostly on morning shows at radio stations. And they might be a little liberal leaning. I guess KGO in the Bay Area has that going on. But because I know this one guy is always making fun of Mitch McConnell. So don't waste your time, but do use your time in a wise way. Maybe, for example, I have downloaded, and I don't know how much information Google is getting off of me, but it's called the Google Fit. And I don't need a Fitbit anymore. As you know, I am against Fitbit. all the times that I was wearing a Fitbit, and I thought it was being uploaded to my Fitbit account so that I could go, and have it saved permanently, all the miles that I've walked. Well, none of that has made it over. All it is stuck in this little device I have, and there's no way to get the information out because Fitbit discontinued the particular brand of Fitbit that I have. So I hate Fitbit now. So I'm using the Google Fit. Interestingly enough, they stole the first word of that company, as the big internet companies do. They'll steal an idea, just like Facebook.
Drop the just Facebook.
Stole the whole, Instagram idea. And basically stole every other idea that Snapchat had.
Oh, snap.
So, yeah, I'm using this Google Fit. Although, for some reason, last night, I had walked all these steps, and it told me at the end of the day I had walked 0. And that was a bit upsetting. I heard this play. So angry. All right. Do you think Trump had a connection with WikiLeaks through the whole Roger Stone thing?
WikiLeaks! I love WikiLeaks!
Mr. Chris Christie said today in an interview that I heard on one of the conservative talk show stations that I help out, that there's no way that Trump would have any way colluded with Russia.
I say it's better to get along with Russia than not.
Because the whole campaign in 2016 was so crazy, there was no time to do that. They were just doing, he said it was like the back of a napkin the whole time. They weren't that precise, detailed, and thinking that far ahead to be able to collude with the Russians. I don't know. You could waste your time with that story forever. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up the show. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful... Ooh, what did I just do there? See, now that's something I didn't know that did that. Oh, you don't want to hit that button. You got to hit this button outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast Summer Podcaster Valley. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thank you for listening to the show today. Enjoy that podcast picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Hey, here's an idea about this website. You can open it on whatever you have, Apple or a Android device. Open it in the browser, and then you get that little option to, if you want, you can go ahead and make a what do you call it? A shortcut on the front page of your podcast. That's why of your cell phone. That way you'll always have it. It's awesome, that connection. So, although I can't at the moment because the Wi-Fi here at Cafe Anyway isn't working. Oh my gosh, it's one of those days here at Cafe Anyway. Where's the guy that says anyway? Here he is.
Anyway.
All right. So thank you for listening to today's episode. Next show will be a little bit more together.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!